So the question is, when are American boots going to be on the ground in Africa? The Atlantic Morocco to Nigeria pipeline just signed the memorandum. They're going to start construction, and also the Algeria to Nigeria across the desert, bringing that entire western quadrant, that western lobe of Africa, online for oil and gas, minerals, agriculture, without any U.S. involvement. So how long do you think it'll take before we need to get our hands dirty over there to stop that? The unfolding of Africa as the new economic superpower begins without any American influence. We got the Air Festival kicking off as well in the Sahel. These characters, for a better term, welcoming you to their kingdom. And this is the plan. I'm going to show you how it's filling in, how it's going to work, and how we're not involved in America. Gas pipeline between Africa and Europe. So Russia goes offline. They're trying to pull in all the African gas and oil through these pipeline networks to Algeria and send it up to Spain and Italy and onward. No Russian gas, no problem. We'll take it from Africa. So the blue line heading west off the lobe there, the western lobe, that is the some offshore, some onshore pipeline that's going to encompass all these countries. And then it's going to be connected through that red pipeline, that trans-Saharan pipeline that's been on the works forever, but finally just signed the deals to start construction this week. So you can see Tangier, or Tangiers, as you call it sometimes, Rabat and Casablanca in Morocco. That dotted line is the future gas pipeline. Well, parts of it have been constructed already. And if we follow that further down, you can see where it continues, and it'll go through Nouakchott. And David Stig Hansen traveling out to the Ricard structure. It's empty where the word Mauritania is empty, except for the Ricard structure, one of the world's unknown mysteries, and it bypasses everything. There must not be any resources out there. So the Nigeria-Morocco pipeline route includes, it's going from Cadiz in Spain, following all the way down with satellite lines coming into every single country. This is why there's been so much contesting of oil areas and coups and land disputes, because everybody gets a piece, the onshore and the offshore, gas and oil both. It's the largest pipeline construction project involving the most countries in this century. 5,600 kilometers, or maybe like 3,100 miles approximately. 25 billion, you know that's going to run way over cost because everybody's greedy hands will be out there. It's Africa after all. Call it what it is. Oh, you're so politically incorrect. They're going to try to sandwich together like this. Outer edge off the sea, inner cutting through the deserts, and a series of pipelines spidering off of that. Yeah, this is under development right now. So what you see here is about the size of the lower 48 United States. This area on the map is equivalent to the entire 48 lower US, excluding Alaska and Hawaii. Maps in Africa are very deceiving. There's a very large landmass. Pipelines, and you know the tremendous amount of oil. There's all these exporters on the south edge there from Nigeria over. And this is the planned route, but it has to go through Niger. You know, they had the coup there. They're very unfriendly to the French. Get the hell out. Colonizers, you're out of here. We take the uranium back. You're not sticking your stinking pipeline through here either. That's what I'm saying. The gas and oil delivery to Europe all hinges on one or two countries that are controlled by, well, the military now. This is why you see so much fighting for these areas and how everybody's choosing sides. But remember, China and Russia are already in there. They've been in there for decades, plural. Would you say as benefactors? No, they're taking advantage of the situation as well. They want something at the end, but they're playing more fair ball than the U.S., just dropping bombs and taking things. Make sure you use the dollar. They're dropping in crates full of cash, buying the politicians, building the infrastructure, but we'll take something later. And you got to give us some minerals right now, but the end play is they're going to get something later too. As we wrap up 2025, it's a good time to slow down and reflect on the year. If there's one thing we all learned, it's that uncertainty isn't temporary. It's the world we live in now. Waiting for things to go back to normal isn't a plan, it's a gamble. For over a decade, my friends at Noble Gold Investments have helped Americans protect themselves and the people they love by diversifying their wealth in gold and silver. No one knows what 2026 will bring, but one thing's for sure. In an uncertain world, real wealth isn't digital, it's physical, it's lasting, it's yours. So when you're sitting around the table this holiday season, surrounded by family, remember the best gift you can give isn't under the tree, it's peace of mind. So before the year ends, take one smart step toward a safer future. Visit 2030gold.com and get your free wealth protection kit today. That's 2030gold.com. And this holiday season, if you open a qualified account with noblegoldinvestments.com, they're going to send you 10 of these 1-ounce silver rounds. Holiday season's greetings. And on the back, we have the Happy Snowman, which melts at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Silver, 1,763 degrees. It's metals. Your stockings are waiting for these. Head to 2030gold.com. Click on that link in the description box below. Tunisia, Morocco, staying on the U.S. dollar with Algeria, unmolested. So those pipeline networks are intact, and that is going to be the tap point. Now, Algeria has already extended that far south there, right almost to their border. But if you continue down out of Algeria, you need to just run through Niger. This is the whole sticky point. And we could use Libya's, oh wait, Libya has no more pipelines because they wanted to go to a gold-backed standard, and we bombed everything, their water pipelines, their oil pipelines, so they couldn't use a gold-backed dinar and upset the global balance. But the BRICS are doing that right now. So there's an enormous amount of pipelines already crisscrossing the area. They're just disconnected. That's the whole thing. So here is your optimization. You got your main line, and you got these side trunk lines coming through, and they're going to be in different phases, like phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they are just going to set strip after strip after strip through all of these different gas fields that are not been tapped once. They know they're there. Oil fields as well. So it's just going to be a grid across this area of Africa. U.S. not invited, by the way, and that's the whole thing. So the linchpin here sits in a couple different directions for agriculture and for energy resources. Pipeline, a lot of these are still using the U.S. dollar because they have to, under threat of being, well, overthrown and bombed into oblivion. So they're still playing ball, most of them. This is going to change because a lot of them have suddenly become BRICS aligned. And as soon as this whole thing works its way out, BRICS will be BRICS, and American dollar users will be American dollar users. Going to be a slow process, not going to happen in one day. On the right is all the countries that have had coups occur in them. So anywhere that these, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, those run through every single one of those countries. Like there's nowhere there's not been a coup where these pipelines are planned to go to. That's what I'm saying. The U.S. is going to get involved, and I'm sure European troops are going to get down there too, because there's really only one way to get this oil and gas up to Europe. If you're looking at that western lobe, you kind of just cut it off. There's really nowhere for the pipes to go except up the river valleys on the Niger River, cut over south of the Atlas Mountains there, and then back out, and then plug into that whole Algerian pipeline network. Otherwise, you're not going over those mountains. Some of those mountains are 10, 12,000 feet tall. You're not running pipes through that. You're going to follow the existing land contours, and there's only a few routes you can do that. Very easy to see where the routes are. So the ultimate plan is after they build out that lobe of Africa, Western, it will reconnect into this road and oil pipeline network across the rest of Africa. Now, once they do that, everything in terms of energy will shift. Like right now, we got Africa in a bottleneck. Western countries, other nations as well, they have to buy finished goods in. They're selling their resources at a pittance. Well, they're actually stolen most of it for a very long time, for centuries plus. And I'm not going on that bandwagon of, the woke side, but I'm just repeating history. Like you think who was kind in Rhodesia? No one. Democratic Republic Congo? Nah. Belgians in the Congo? You ever heard that? A lot of these colonial powers went down and just pillaged everything they could, and they pretty much took all the resources for free. Now that time has ended, and it's ending faster now. And you saw French getting kicked out of Niger. Hey, by the way, all those uranium, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars you stole of uranium from us, you're going to have to start buying it now. And a fair few of these guys who took military leadership are like, we're tired of the corruption. I know they always get corrupt in the end as well, but in the beginning, they're like, we're tired of the corruption. We're tired of the colonial powers being here, stealing everything. It's got to stop. An enormous amount of new money is coming in from Russia and China. And once this entire network gets connected, then this becomes the new wealth point on the planet, because they'll have everything you need: oil, energy, agriculture, all types of resources. And with the electrification corridor, which I'll do in part 2 of this series over in Ethiopia, they're going to have everything they need. It'll be just like the United States was in, say, circa 1930. Everything they need in just raw minerals and resources, and those aquifers beneath the entire Sahel and North Africa that haven't been tapped yet, they're going to grow their own food. See, that's the whole way that's being strong-armed right now, is they rely on food imports for a lot of things, a lot of famines, and some very poor agricultural practices. But once they get seeds not controlled by Monsanto, and also fertilizers, and there's a green revolution, tech and machinery, they're going to grow just equally as much as Europe can and the United States, because they can get a double rotation crop out of that. So you got to think about, they're going to have the agriculture, not going to be relying on food imports. I mean, some things, yeah, but not like they are now. I've been reading all these different things they're trying to kick themselves away from: reliance on food imports, reliance on energy imports, meaning they'll export oil out and they'll have to rebuy gasoline back in. They're setting up massive refineries right now. So everything that we used to sell them or control them by selling them or withholding from them here in Africa, those days are gone. They're over. They're rebuilding everything that we built in America to be the powerhouse we are. It's just going to be on a continental level. It works for now, but will there be a fragmenting and fracturing? Oh yeah, I'm sure there will in 30, 40, 50 years from now. It will. But for right now, they're all united to at least start this behemoth project. And as I say, as of last week, that memorandum to start that pipeline construction is a go. Now, how much political pressure will come in, and will we see our American boots on the ground to prevent this, or try to dislodge those in government that will not let American businesses in there? Because right now, not too friendly. It's a hostile environment for American companies and European companies as well. We're not just the only privileged ones to be hostile against, but pretty much the favoritism's gone over to those who haven't dropped fragmentation ordinance on them, which is China and Russia, believe it or not. All the demonization of Russia, they're not over there dropping ordinance everywhere because you wanted to move to a gold-backed currency. They're not playing that game. They're going in with crates of cash. And they're willing to buy that from them too at market prices for their minerals, because some things they just can't get. So this is a really deep question where we move in the future here, and how long really will it be before we're going to see American boots on the ground to try to prevent this. And I'll come at you with part 2 about the agriculture, the water, the aquifers, and the ancient maps with the lakes showing where it's filling, and the whole electrification corridor. That's part 2 of this. Energy is one thing, agriculture is another, constant reliable electricity is the third linchpin, if you will. So I'll see you next time. Please share with your friends and family, get them in the discussion as well. And please remember to support our sponsors here. AlfaVedic.com, holistic dental solutions. That's alphavedic.com/civilization. Check out the different range of products they have. I definitely love that dental tooth scrub. Makes your teeth squeaky. And when I say squeaky, I mean squeaky clean. I use the products, or I wouldn't promote them here if I didn't like them. And also our newsletter, civilizationcycle.com, 10 bullet points of our live radio program, what we talk about, something similar to this, and how the world is moving, blending past, present, and future together on 400-year cycles as to where the world might move to next. Civilizationcycle.com. Sign up for that. I will see you next time. Bye for now.